Be not dismayed, whate'er betide, God will take care of you. Beneath his wings of love abide, God will take care of you. The story goes that my father, as a 3-year-old little boy, stood singing that song as he watched out the kitchen window as his mother fought her way through a hurricane to get safely from the water pump in the backyard into the safety of their home. That was the first storm maybe in my father's life, but his life was filled with storms. The ones that came early came because Dad was autistic. And in those days, that meant he was terribly misdiagnosed and misunderstood. Dad would not speak as a child. Now, if you knew him later, you would not believe that was the truth. But as a little boy, perhaps he sang, obviously, but he would not speak. So in his one-room schoolhouse, he had very little opportunity for success until a teacher came in that understood Dad. He allowed Dad to leave his desk and sit on his knee and just listen and learn. And Dad did. And he began to excel academically. The skies began to brighten a little bit for Dad. He would tell later that he won one spelling bee after another, and he succeeded there in that one-room schoolhouse. He went out of that into high school, succeeded there, and graduated. The skies had brightened a little bit for my father, but there was a storm on the horizon that he had no way of knowing anything about. That storm even had a name. It was called the Forgotten War, or more commonly known as the Korean conflict. And Dad was conscripted into that storm. And he came out the other side, of course, having experienced capital T trauma, but also having experienced somewhere along the line, for the first time, alcohol. Alcohol was something he hadn't known in his strict Baptist home. And Dad said later that from the very first sip of alcohol, he loved it. I would say maybe more accurately, from the very first sip, it loved him. And alcoholism became a storm that entered my father's life and never left. Dad met a sweet woman, married her. Along came my brother very quickly, a little too quickly if anyone was following the calendar, and then my sister, and then me. And we all lived together there in that home with a troubled, autistic, alcoholic father. And our life was filled with storms. Some of them, my siblings and I, would just try to outrun, and we would try to just keep clear. Others, we began to see that maybe could be calmed a little bit by the purring of a cat held tightly on your lap, or by eating food that you had hidden in your bedroom. We also found that the skies cleared a little bit if we could succeed academically or athletically. And so we did. As we gained the respect of the authorities in our school and in our church, the skies got even a little bit brighter. But Dad's life continued to be filled with storms. As he aged, though, they came less often. And Dad even began to learn how to maneuver his way, navigate through some of those storms, until he was hit with his final storm. It hit him like a whirlwind, but it also carried him safely home. Now, my life, it's been filled with some really bright days. Days where you could see the sunrise and the sunset. Nights that were so clear that you could see the stars. And rainbows that came after storms. But my life has also been filled with some pretty dark storms. So how have I made it through those storms to a place of safety? How have I made it this far through those storms to the safety of home? Be not dismayed, whate'er betide. God will take care of you. Beneath his wings of love abide. God will take care of you.